Have you ever felt unexciting, bored with yourself, not a very interesting person? Of course you have, but you don't have to. You can change, become someone else, assume a new personality, get into role-playing. A lot of people do these days, and despite the fact that we on south of Watford are all terribly exciting people already, we thought we'd take a look. J.R. Tolkien's to blame, really. So many people enjoyed Lord of the Rings with its mythical world of heroes and wizards that they wanted to live there too. So the game makers obliged. You can play Rune Quest, in which you have to fight some dwarfs and trolls in the magical land of Glorantha, or you could play Chivalry and Sorcery, in which you have to, well, do much the same thing, and then there's Stormbringer and Powers and Perils and Lands of Adventures. You get the idea. And this is Dungeons and Dragons. In it, you join a group of adventurers exploring a monster-filled dungeon. It's the world's #1 fantasy game, and they're going to sell 40,000 this year in the UK alone. But why? When you open it, it doesn't look like an ordinary game at all. There's no board, there's no little plastic counters or hotels, just some funny-shaped dice and a book of rules. So what's the fascination?
Well, the main fascination about these, forget about all usual games like Monopoly and all that junk. You know, you can throw away your board, throw away your hotels, throw away everything that you really know beforehand, because we're not having a competitive game, because most games are like pretty predictable. You march around a board and you know much what's going to go on. Here, you are totally involved in your world of monsters and magic. You've got to imagine yourself in a world of monsters and magic. What kind of character do you want to be? Do you want to be a hero? Do you want to be a fighting man? Do you want to be a magic user? Do you want to be a cleric? You can be any of these things depending on certain abilities like strength, intelligence, constitution, dexterity, wisdom. So you build up this alter ego that's going to go on this fantastic journey. For example, you know, you're walking down this dungeon's corridor. Suddenly you come across a doorway and it's got a keep out sign written in blood in it, and you can hear scratching and sniffing sounds coming from the other side of the door. And there's a troll walking down the corridor towards you. What are you going to do, you know?
It does sound extremely complicated.
Yeah. Well, it is actually, if you're coming to it cold. I mean, look at the size of the rule book. I mean, there are literally things, but most of it's reference material, but it needs someone who actually knows what they're doing. So the best thing you can do, really, is just to have a game. That's the best way to understand it.
All right, lads, well, I'm game for a dungeon. What do we do first?
Well, first thing we've got to do is get ourselves a character. Now, I'm big and dumb in my game, so this is me, the big, because I like to kick open doors and smash everything inside.
That's your character,
that's
is
me,
it?
Yeah,
it's a perfect likeness. What's the name of it?
His name's Anvar the Face Splitter.
The Face Splitter?
Yeah.
Right, fine. And what are you?
Well, I like to use a magic user. Magic users have to use more intelligence than fighters.
But they can't split so many faces.
But they, yeah.
All right, so
I
you're...
use magic spells.
You're
so
a
this
wizard?
Is son of Crew, the wizard. He's got a long history, son of Crew.
Well, I'm small, bearded, clever, TV presenter. What does that suggest?
Well, that sounds a bit like a dwarf, but in Dungeons and Dragons, only females have got short beards. You see, all the male have got,
longer
big
beards.
long things down there.
All right, well, so female dwarfs have short beards. I'll be a woman dwarf.
Female
right
dwarf.
on.
Okay.
Okay. I'll be a female dwarf. Let's start.
Now, before we can do that, the first thing we need is a dungeon master.
There's more to Dungeons and Dragons than just getting out the box. It takes hours and hours of preparation by the person who's running it. Albie, I believe I'm in the presence of a dungeon master here. Could you tell me what your rank means?
Well, in terms of the game, it means that when we play in my dungeon, I run the game. I control all the characters that the players aren't playing. I set up the whole adventure. I plan out the rooms of the dungeon that they're exploring. I note down what's in them. And anything that isn't one of the players' characters, I control.
So with Ian's mates playing the other adventurers, the game commenced.
We've got our own abilities.
Yeah.
Mine's usually, you know, brute force and ignorance. This is good against all the undead monsters. And there's Steve with his magic use of spells.
And mine's just general dwarf power.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're a fighter.
Yeah,
Right, I'm Anthrax the fighter.
That's right.
Right.
Okay, so it's up to you to tell me what you're doing. There's a door at the end.
Yeah.
So we've got to
Open
decide
this
what we're going
way.
to do. You see, we're playing roles. We've got to decide. You've got to imagine yourself in the
So
shoes
the
of your
accents and
character.
things.
Well, if you want, you can go.
Go and try and open the door,
Yeah.
because it looks pretty boring up this corridor.
So I'm going to be an old female dwarf, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be right behind
Well,
you.
I think
We'll be backing you up. No
that I'll
problem.
go through the door, all right?
Okay.
So,
Okay, well, you get to the door, you've got to open
No,
it.
there you go. We don't know. You have. No, don't do that.
You've gone in.
I've gone
Do you
in.
want the door slammed
help
shut?
The door slammed. No,
behind
because you told me I could sense a trap if I was a dwarf, so I thought I was
Yeah,
safe.
you can
There
sense
isn't a
it,
trap.
but you're stuck in the
So
room.
you've just stepped into the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can sense a trap.
All right. Okay, I can sense it.
Hang on, I'll tell you what happens. This is what
Oh,
you
I
can.
see.
This is what you see
We
in the
don't-
room.
We don't see anything.
I think
We're shouting.
Yeah,
You
we're-
all right
Are
then?
you in there?
You hear.
And do I shout and tell them
You
what's
hear the
going
sounds
on?
of fighting, and there are two female dwarves, absolutely identical, fighting each other.
Oh no, which is
Which?
Oh, I see.
And across the end of this room is a mirror. So if we have another dwarf, imagine they're absolutely
They're
identical,
Absolutely identical.
Yeah.
and they're in the middle of the room fighting here, and there's a mirror across there.
I try to detect to see if one of the characters is evil and the other one is good, since I know that.
You know me to be good.
So he cast his detect spell. What are you doing?
Watching the rear.
Not
You're
sure.
watching the. You got a nice friendly wizard there.
Yeah. So,
There's just a mirror
I
across
know,
the end
a
of the
mirror.
room.
A mirror. Oh,
I'm not allowed to say.
You can you do whatever you're
Can I
doing.
shout and tell them what's happened?
Yeah.
yeah, well, we can see what's happened.
Well, you can't. My reflection has jumped out of the mirror and is attacking me.
Simultaneously, two dwarves say that.
Yeah.
Aha! Damn, I
Then maybe
don't know.
maybe I'll come along and have a look. Maybe we should destroy the mirror, and maybe we'll destroy the reflection. How about that?
Can I nick his idea and instead of striking at my reflection, swing away and strike at the mirror?
Well, you can actually reach the mirror. You can run down to the
Are
mirror.
they both going to do that?
I'm going to run... No, because the reflection is acting independently, or else it'd be just mirror fighting.
Yeah.
8 and a 3, 11.
No, it's just 8. But yeah, you smash the mirror,
I smashed the mirror.
and one of the dwarves fades away.
Hey.
Well, sensing no danger, I'm going to lead the party out.
What with all this chat, it's no wonder that exploring a really good dungeon can take months. Some players who've tried Alba's dungeons haven't seen daylight for years. So what was in store for this plucky little dwarf?
No,
A net drops from the ceiling
A net.
over you
Well,
simultaneously.
like a hairnet.
No, a big heavy rope net. A secret door here opens up.
Secret door.
And
There's a lot of little people, and there's about 18 of these creatures
Wonderland.
charging off up the path, sort of dragging this trolley with the
Are you going to
dwarf
run
on it.
after?
18 of them.
You've got to catch
sleep
them.
spell.
They're already kind of about sort of 30, 40 foot up.
Well, I've been captured by these little oiks here, and I've just been told I've been shipped off to a mine on another planet to work my life away in misery, and unless my friends here can come and rescue me. Apparently this sort of thing's happening all the time in D&D, and right across the country at the moment there's elves in prison, stuffed up chimneys, dwarfs nailed to the floor, all sorts of disasters, and all waiting for a rescue. And I've also just been told that this game goes on for years sometimes, so I suppose I better just
anything's better than
sit back and wait it out, really.
You hear some footsteps coming from this direction.
Well, we'll run off down the corridor.
Let's go.
Help!
Sorry, Ben. Goodbye.
Of course, if you get bored with waiting for your mates to come and rescue you, you can always play on your own with one of these solo role-playing books. The pirate draws his cutlass and advances towards you. Turn to page 25 if you want to fight, or page 16 if you want to run away. I think I'll turn to page 16. Of course, you don't have to be stuck with sword and sorcery. You can be a gangster, a gunslinger, a samurai warrior, a golden hero, Judge Dredd, or Doctor Who, James Bond, Mr. Spock. These games boldly go where no game has gone before.